Serial entrepreneur Dylan Collins has always got a good nose for what's going on in the children's technology space. He's here today to talk about SuperAwesome, which, among other things, sends children a mystery package of desirable products. Welcome to Tech Sessions and welcome to Dylan Collins. He's the CEO of Box of Awesome, or SuperAwesome.
SuperAwesome.
Yeah, you keep changing the name, Dylan. So now SuperAwesome. Okay, tell us a bit about SuperAwesome and
Well, SuperAwesome is now the biggest kids discovery platform in the UK. So we reach about 8 million kids a month through our digital and physical discovery channels. So we've got a big ad network. We've got a set of physical discovery boxes called Box of Awesome and Box of OMG, which is what we were originally called. And we've also just announced a mobile ad network as well for kids content creators.
Discovery box sounds like something from Alice in Wonderland or something. How does that actually work?
Well, we like to engender that sense of surreality.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So the boxes are free boxes that kids get every couple of months. They're filled with between 5 and 7 items from some of our brand partners. So things like books, collectible toys, stickers, new products that are just coming into the market. It's a way for kids to get their hands on new things and give feedback to the brands, and for the brands it's a way to get direct feedback from the kids.
In marketing directly to kids, have parents responded well to that, or is there a little bit of sort of suspicion?
No, we're very transparent about it. We sort of say, look, this is the point of the boxes. The brands, the companies are looking to get your feedback. It's completely free. If you give the feedback or if you answer the questions on the products, we'll get you another box. So we're very open about how it works. Parents are quite happy because it is free and we are very open about the process.
So early days, but you're imagining this is going to make you some big money again?
Well, it's been growing very, very fast. I think our biggest challenge has been keeping up with demand. So, we've gone from shipping, just on the discovery box side, from shipping about 1,000 a month to shipping about 15,000 boxes a month. We're now at about 8 million kids a month through our network across all of the various channels.
And where are those kids based?
This is all in the UK.
Right.
So we're based here in London. So
8 million kids just in the UK?
Yeah, we've got a pretty wide reach. Well, if you consider the networks that we have across all the various sites, it sort of stacks up. We were surprised when we counted the numbers too.
Wow. Okay, so what led you
Hence,
to...
SuperAwesome.
Oh, right, okay. What led you to this project then? What have you worked on in the past? Tell us a bit about what's on the CV.
What's on the CV? I must do that one day. So I've built a few video games companies over the years. Demonware, which built all the multiplayer tech for Xbox and PlayStation 3. Jolt Online, which was a big social game studio over here. I've invested in a few other technology companies and kids media companies as well, like Fight My Monster. I sit on the board of Brown Bag Films, who are the biggest animation studio for kids in Europe. And more and more we've started to see that discovery is a real problem for all the brands, big ones and small ones. There's so much content out there now that trying to actually break through, whether you're one of the biggest kids brands in the world or one of the smallest, is really, really difficult. There's less and less physical retail out there as well. So the reason SuperAwesome came about was to try and solve this problem for a lot of those companies in the space. And I think this generation of kids is very, very, very different from anything we've ever seen. They're on multiple platforms. They're super fragmented. So we decided to build a company that would match exactly where they are to try and make all of that marketing easier and safer and more effective for everyone involved.
It's interesting that what you're trying to do with SuperAwesome, I think some social networking companies were trying to get to the same point perhaps, where they had a product and a network that reached out to that many kids, and you're perhaps getting to the same end goal through a different route. Would you say that's fair?
Are you comparing this to a social network? Well,
not directly, but
I think to a degree. Fundamentally, we work with most of the big kids brands to try and help them communicate better and safely. This is kind of one of the more important points. I think if you aggregate everything that we're doing, the net effect is probably not a million miles away from that. But the reality is that we have to operate in fairly radically different channels. It is not a single website, because kids just aren't that linear. Kids are everywhere.
Well, that's kind of some insurance against the fickleness of children and young people online.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's why we've got the physical discovery boxes. It's why we've got our ad network. It's why we're on mobile as well. Kids are, if you look at the things like Snapchat and Your Turn and stuff like that, the services and apps the kids are jumping on are getting more and more transient. So they are literally hopping around from one thing to another. So you have to be in multiple places.
It seems to be one way to try and combat that fickleness and that transience of services online by representing them physically in some form. And we have interviewed Alice Taylor at Makey Lab. It's obviously a physical product, and Moshi's had great success merchandising in the real world with physical stuff, their products. There's an interesting thread there about physical value, I suppose.
There really is, and if you look at Activision's success with Skylanders and what Disney are doing with Disney Infinity, I think everyone is realizing that you can't just be physical and you can't just be digital. There is a huge opportunity if you can bridge those two pieces, which Michael and Alice have done really, really well. There's a massive opportunity there.
Physical is the new digital.
Physical is the new digital. I'm going to use that.
Oh, there you go. You can have it for free.
Thank you.
So beyond what you're doing at SuperAwesome, what's exciting you in the technology space more broadly?
Putting me on the spot now by asking me that.
Yeah.
I think that the Google Glass stuff is genuinely interesting, even though it looks a bit, a little bit invasive, perhaps. I think as a platform, it's going to be
a little bit invasive.
I don't know. We all have our standards on this stuff, right?
Yeah.
I do think. I mean, what we're looking at is version 0.1 right now. I think there's, from entertainment, gaming, almost every content perspective, I really do think there's going to be some interesting stuff there. I think 3D printing is really interesting as an area. I think what Alice is doing with Makey is absolutely awesome. But I think, and again, this is sort of the work-live thing. I'm intrigued by everything that kids are doing. I'm intrigued by what pieces of software kids themselves are building. And you look around and you see all the 10 and 11 and 12-year-old developers. And these are kids around Europe, and Jordan Casey and lots more like him. They're building games, they're building software. That whole trend to me is absolutely fascinating, because they are going to disrupt the market in ways that we can't even imagine right now. So I think the next big social network platforms or games, the next Minecraft is going to come from a 14 or a 15-year-old.
My next question was going to be that you've got some pocket money, so where are you looking to invest that? Is it in the next Minecraft?
It's a good question. I think, I'm an investor in I suppose, some a lot of stuff around the kid space. Previously, I've invested in the video game sector, so I've got some profile in 3D printing, security, kids media. All of those areas are really interesting, because I think they're going to evolve. I think the challenge with games is always trying to pick the stuff that's actually going to be really big, which is kind of obvious when you say it out loud like that. But it is really difficult. I think I spend a lot of time looking at what sort of things kids are building and looking for ways to sort of get involved in that. One of the reasons we started SuperAwesome was to just try and be as involved in this sector as we possibly could be. I mean, we've a small research arm in the company as well, so we see lots and lots and lots of data. I'm bullish on 3D printing. I'm bullish on hardcore gaming on tablet. I think when you look at the likes of, I finally got around to playing Knights of the Old Republic, which I downloaded off the App Store for I think $6.99. Full game, no IAP, and I was like, fine, here, take my money. XCOM came out about a week ago. I think they were charging about 20 quid for it. I didn't even think about it. I just bought it. Like, there's a market there for people who don't have time, who didn't have time to play the console releases and just want it on their iPad. I think that's really interesting. There's not enough people doing stuff there.
And what next then from SuperAwesome?
What can we do beyond SuperAwesome? Yeah. Well, we've got, the mobile piece was really important because we were getting a huge amount of demand from it for our clients. And there's very, very, very few companies who are actually doing any kind of ad network for kids content creators. It's a difficult space. And
it's harder to do retrospectively as well. I mean, if you you've built it from the outset and built your products around those products and those advertisers, arguably.
Yeah, I mean, we have built for this generation of kids and the companies who are trying to work with them on that. So I think where we're going is definitely more mobile. We've got a pretty big mobile release coming out in September, which is kind of an extension of everything that we're doing on the Box of Awesome side. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I think we've got a lot of room to grow in the UK, but the US, we're coming for you. But I think that'll be probably early next year. Well, we're definitely looking around, and we're having a lot of interesting conversations, which are kind of coming to us by virtue of doing so much in the market. Some of it's really cool. I wish we could do more, but there's only so many hours in the day.
Very exciting. I believe that children are our future.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Dylan Collins.
Thanks, John.